Islas, Mr. Islas is on the phone. He says that his clients are in his office, but they lost internet access, so he's gonna be telephonic, okay?
Somebody lose internet access at your law office.
I don't know. He says their internet's not working. Internet access, so he's gonna be telephonic, okay?
That's not my question. My question is, how do you lose internet access at your law office? Unless you lose electricity, but okay. We've got to go with these technological challenges. Everybody, I'm seeing all my friends, lots of people I hadn't seen here today. And I did off the record say how much we do miss our courtroom and miss the camaraderie and miss our good conversations. So I do have to welcome everybody to, again, another Zoom hearing. God knows how long we're going to be doing these, but the Texas Supreme Court, well, let me give you the date, 1:07 p.m., 7/14/2020. Of course, we are in the midst of this pandemic still. Unbelievable. Numbers are rising. Unbelievable. And the Texas Supreme Court has allowed us to have these hearings and hold these hearings via Zoom and YouTube Live. If there's anyone out there, all the participants here to this afternoon, if there's someone out there that objects and does not want to participate and continue with this process or either of these processes, please let me know right now. Verbalize it with your objection. Let the record reflect that there's no objection. I want everybody to know that Ms. Anita Garza, my court reporter, is participating, as well as Ms. Rebecca Gonzalez and Ms. Rebecca Gonzalez, my court coordinator, and Mr. Rick Salazar, my bailiff. There are to be no recordings of these proceedings. The only official court record is the court reporter's record. If anybody is recording, either participating or through YouTube Live, you may be held in contempt of court. I want everybody to know that we are on YouTube Live to comply with the Texas Open Courts provision. Now, there's an options bar at the bottom if anybody wants to utilize that to chat or to breakout room with your clients. Please let me know. Ask for permission and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. With those instructions, with those limitations, are there any objections proceeding? And if so, verbalize it right now. Let the record reflect that there are no objections. Okay, we're going to begin with our afternoon docket. And the first one is Jonathan Bravo. I'm thinking it's Lucero. Is it Lucero, Becky? Because it's Lucer.
No, that's his last name, Lucer.
Okay. And I guess there's still a KPS out, Mr. Sam Castañeda? Is the KPS still out?
Warrant. It's filed 29.
We're not going to do anything with that case. Good, thank you. The next one is Hector Lozoya. That is Mr. Felipe Millan and Richard Esper. Is anybody on for either of them? Because I haven't let either of them on.
Oh, Judge, on that one, it's going to be reset because Mr. Millan was in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
And he wants to handle this, so.
Okay, is he okay? Well, I guess not.
He was having heart problems and he doesn't know if he'll be having surgery.
Oh no. Okay, let us pray. Let us pray for our colleague Felipe Millan. The next one is Alberto Ortiz. That's Cristina Montes, 2018-58-17. State of Texas versus Alberto Ortiz. Announcement of counsel, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Cristina Montes, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Ortiz.
Very good, Ms. Montes. How are you doing? I haven't seen
Yes.
you. Amen.
How
Amen.
are you, Judge?
Blessed as well. Amen. I'm doing great. I'm in my own living room. Life can't get better. Amen.
I'm glad, Judge. I'm glad.
Yes. Okay. Now, what is happening? Well, first of all, Mr. Ortiz is not participating, is he?
He is in my office, Judge. He was having problems, technical difficulties logging on from his phone, but I have him here in my office.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do we have an offer in this case, or have you already given Ms. Martinez and Ms. Montes an offer?
The rec is 5 TDC, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Montes, had you had a 5 TDC rec before?
We did, Judge. We originally had a 6-month state jail time, and then it went up to the 5 years. I don't know if we remember on this one, but at our last hearing we discussed, we don't have all the evidence in portal yet. So it lists a lot of DVD videos of what they're claiming or alleging happened. But on May the 5th, I spoke to Mr. Nunez and I requested all the videos, but I haven't received them yet.
Did it go up, Mr. Martinez? Was there another rearrest, some other new charges or what?
Yes, there was some.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that's
He
right.
was, what it was, so it was a UUMV, and he, that had been enhanced with 2 prior UUMVs up to a 3rd degree. And while he's out on bond, he picked up all these credit card abuse charges. So those are also state jails enhanced up to the 3rd degree, Your Honor.
Okay. Montes.
Be on my desk.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
We fixed it, Your Honor.
Amen. Okay, sir, put yourself on mute. Can you put yourself on mute, sir? So then we'll call your case in a minute because we're getting lots of noise from your. Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Islas. Thank you. I'm glad you could join us. Mr. Rick, I'm allowing kiosk in. Follow him.
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Monte, what are you thinking about the 5 years?
Client definitely doesn't want to do 5 years, Judge. We're trying to work out a deal if possible where we can get some kind of either RSAT or safety for him. We just like the opportunity to review all the videos before making any kind of.
So Ms. Montes, can I set this up for one more settlement conference?
Please, Judge, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. You want 30 days, 45 days? If there's a lot of videos, you give me
Yes,
the.
Judge. If we can get at least 45 days, only because David did reach out to me via email and said it was going to take him some time to get me all the videos.
Mr. David, why is it going to take, Mr. Martinez? How come it's not available to you yet, Ms. Montes?
No, and the last time we spoke about it was on May the 5th.
Mr. Martinez,
Did
how
you-
come we're having a problem with this video?
Well, it's not a problem, Your Honor. It's just the investigators have to go out to PD and collect the DVDs. They'll do it. I'm just saying it just
Well-
that's the constraint.
Well, but it shouldn't be a constraint. This case is a 2018 case. Everything should have been on portal. This isn't a 2020 case.
Well,
What's the problem?
I think that's what she's talking about. I think she's talking about the video from the 2019, I mean the 2020 case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Mr. Rick, I'm allowing 2 iPhones in. 2 iPhones are trying to come in. Ms. Montes, it is the 2020 case, right? Cases?
It is, Judge, that's correct. The videos that we're requesting are from the credit card abuse charges.
Okay, yeah, let's give you 45, let's give you, yeah, at least 45 days. Martinez, whatever you can do to expedite it, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. They should be on there in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Great. Okay, everything good. Ms. Montes will give you notice for a settlement conference, 45, 50 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Okay, hang on, everybody, get on mute, please, because I'm getting lots of exterior noise. Ms. Caro, are you present?
I am, Your Honor, and so is Ms. Sines.
Is Ms. Sines, okay. Okay, Ms. Sines, I didn't ask you, but can you send me the pictures that you sent to Rick that Friday, the day before 4th of July?
My daughter sent them to, I believe, I don't know if she sent them to the,
No, ma'am, one of them was the right picture, there was it wasn't the right picture. One was good, the one I had seen, but then the other one was not a correct picture.
you know what, I need to get home to look through her email so I could see if I could find the email that I sent the PO. I don't think I sent her I'm
You
not
sent
sure.
them to Rick. You sent them to Rick.
Yes, I don't have those though. I don't know. I don't know if I sent them from my daughter's phone.
They were from your daughter's phone.
Okay, then then I need to send them from her phone or have her, let me call her and have her send them.
Okay, have her send them. Where are you right now?
At the doctor's office. I'm at San Vicente.
You're at San Vicente for you now?
Yes,
Okay, good.
yes.
Okay, so have your daughter send them. Can you check back with us in an hour? Because I'll be here in an hour.
Yes.
Have your daughter send them. Check back in with me at 2:15.
Okay. I will
Thank-
do that.
Same Zoom invite. Thank you, Miss Denise.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Cotto, can you come back in an hour?
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Okay, thank you. Let me shut this phone. Okay, yes, ma'am. 1 hour. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next case is Vanessa Vasquez. That's Mr. Curtis Cox, I think is here for Ruben Ortiz. Court calls cause number 2019-2040. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
For defense, Curtis Cox in lieu of Ruben Ortiz. Defense is ready.
Ms. Vanessa Vasquez is not participating, is she?
Oh, I'm here.
There you are. Ms. Vasquez, can you participate with a video or not?
Yes, of course.
Please. You sound young, so I know you can do it. Yes?
Yes.
Very good. Good, I see. Good afternoon, Ms. Vasquez. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing very well. Do you see and recognize Mr. Curtis as one of your attorneys in this case?
Yes, I do.
Very good. And Mr. Cox, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this case?
I do.
Very good. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Mr. Martinez,
Yes, Your Honor.
have we given Mr. Cox an offer in this case? I don't think so.
Yes, and I know, I don't know about Mr. Cox, but definitely Mr. Ortiz. We've spoken about it before.
Oh, what is
The rec is 5 years deferred probation.
Yeah, and I think Mr. Ortiz's his intention is to continue to negotiate in regard to that, because deferred on a felony for the behavior in this case, given her relative lack of criminal history, doesn't seem appropriate.
Okay, so he's going to try. Tell Mr. Ortiz, or you talk to your client, Mr. Cox, and see if there's a counter.
I believe we have made a counter in the past. It's been a while since I've looked at the file, but I'll have Mr. Ortiz attend to that.
Do you recall getting a counter in this case, Mr. Martinez?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Maybe not off the top of my head.
I think it would be probably Mr. Nunez that I talked to, and
Okay,
that was some time ago.
okay, sir. Okay, why don't we do an offer to both of them? Do a counter, Mr. Cox, and let's see if we can settle it. I think this is something that we can, I think, with a little bit, maybe a couple more hearings. Can I set this up for another settlement in about 30 days? And see
Yes,
what-
Your Honor.
Great. We'll set this up in 30 days. Thank you very much. You all may be excused. Ms. Vasquez, thank you for participating this afternoon. You may be excused.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. You too have a great day and be safe out there. Thank you.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one, thank you, Mr. Cox. You may be excused, sir.
And Your Honor, I think Mr. Ortiz has one more.
Okay. That would be what page?
Eric Garcia on page 5.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. At this time, court calls cause number 2019-2219, the state of Texas versus Eric Garcia. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Your Honor, for the defense, Curtis Cox and lieu of Ruben Ortiz. The defense is ready.
Good. And Mr. Eric Garcia, you are in this Zoom hearing. Can I hear from you, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Everything's well, Your Honor. How are you?
Good, sir. I am wonderful, sir. I am doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Mr. Garcia, thank you so much for dressing so respectfully and appropriately. I really, really appreciate that, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am, of course.
It shows a respect for the system, for the judge, for the process, for the attorneys, in spite of the fact that we're all sitting at home. So I thank you for that, sir.
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Okay, thank you. Okay, talk to me, Mr. Martinez. Have you
Judge,
made?
Yeah, we've worked out an arrangement where the case will be resolved. It's just a matter of getting some information conveyed to defense counsel. But yes, this case will be resolved.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me how it's going to be resolved? Or is that top?
Dismissal, Your Honor. No, it's not. No, it's no secret. The case will be dismissed.
Excellent. So
Yes.
do I set this up 30 days, 40 days?
No, I don't think there's another need for a hearing. This should be resolved in the next week at tops.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Becky, why don't you just put this in your tickler that if we don't get a dismissal from Mr. Ivan within a week, to please call him and nudge him, give him a friendly little reminder. Can we do that? Yes, thank you. Okay, Mr. Cox, anything else on this? Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Anything
nothing
else,
else.
Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Thank you for participating. Greatly appreciated. Everybody may be excused. Mr. Cox, we're done with you, right? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Be safe out there.
Yes, ma'am.
The next one is Sammy Ontiveros. Is there a public defender on it? Mr. Castañon, is this one yours?
That's me, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
At this time, court calls cause number 2019-1103, City of Texas versus Sammy Ontiveros. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Felix Castañon for Mr. Ontiveros, and Mr. Ontiveros is present.
He is present.
Ready,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Where are you, sir? I don't.
Mr. Ontiveros is on mute right now, Judge.
Mr. Ontiveros, can you unmute? What is he under?
Sammy Ontiveros.
Okay, thank you. There you go, sir. I'm asking you to unmute, Mr. Ontiveros. Can you unmute? There
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
Mr. Ontiveros, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing good, Judge. How about you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for asking. Do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Castañon, on the screen?
Yes, I do.
As your attorney. And Mr. Castañon, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Have you gotten an offer, Mr. Castañon, to settle? Or
I did, Your Honor. I did get the opening offer of 10 deferred. The last time we were here, there was some reports that were missing. And so Mr. Nunez went back and he did put some more reports on there that provided a little bit more information. We're still missing some discovery. I did state the last time, and I told Mr. Nunez that this is a case that we could probably resolve with a plea, but I just need to make sure that all the discovery is there.
how do you know?
Before we take it.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, do you know anything about these missing reports?
No, Your Honor, a report was added. I don't know if there's any additional missing reports. These seem to be the reports that were present for the co-defendants. I'm not sure what other items
Can you
the defense counsel is referring to.
be a little bit more specific, Mr. Castañon?
I think in this case, Your Honor, my client is being charged with basically doctor shopping, and there was interviews with the doctors, but what happens, and I know this because my wife is a nurse practitioner, is when a doctor gives any kind of narcotic, there has to be paperwork, there has to be a trail, and if there is not, say for instance, a doctor were to overprescribe someone, the doctor themselves could lose their license or have to go through some kind of, I guess, subsequent hearings. And so I told him I was missing that. That's a system that the prescriber, the subscriber puts the prescription in there, and then the pharmacist draws up, and that's made for this very type of case where it'll pop up. If, say, for instance, I were to go around doctor shopping and, hey, 2 days ago, you got, 90 pills of codeine, and now here you are. So I told him I was missing that. And I don't see that. They did add the prescriptions, the actual ones that were written out. One of the doctors made an allegation that they think they were forged, but there's no comparison. And there's no reports indicating, and it's a computer printout that they can give me, which shows, in this case, Wanda Sanchez, a nurse practitioner, prescribed on such and such date, and it goes into a system, and then the pharmacy, accesses the same system.
Okay, so it's kind of like the data inputted in that.
Yes.
Whatever it's called.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know that the DPS or the state is in possession of these documents. You know what I'm saying? We obviously we can't turn over these documents if we're not in possession of these documents that he's speaking of. I'm not necessarily disagreeing that they may not be pertinent or material to this case. It's just we're simply not in possession of them, as far as I know. I mean,
That kind of makes sense, Mr. Castañon. I don't think the state would have possession of them. You want to set up some kind of a discovery hearing, and then you can subpoena the people that allegedly have custody and control of these reports in this system?
Yes, Your Honor, and that's fine. And Mr. Martinez and I have been around long enough to know that there is no willful blindness. Just because the DA himself doesn't know about it, the case law is that in this case, the state does know, because any narcotic has the federal government and the state looking after any kind of records. And so the actual agency, DPS, does know about it, and they could obtain these documents. But I can set it up for a discovery hearing, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's if I can interject, it's a PMP.
I knew
There you go. I'm calling my expert, Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. It's the PMP. DPS has got possession of it. Government agency. They ought to be handing it over.
Said in the true words of a defense attorney. Okay, there's Mr.
I'll put it on mute again.
Thank you, Derek. High five.
Call him. Call him. You may need to kind of pick at his brain. Mr. Martinez, it's from DPS. You don't want to try to help out a bit or not?
Well, Judge, I guess maybe just if Mr. Castellano could just email specifically,
Okay.
Your Honor.
what exactly he wants, and and then maybe from there,
Yes, sir.
But like I said, as these documents, again, we're not in possession of, but certainly, maybe I'll check again to see if they can obtain them. But
Right.
yes, Your Honor.
If they're in the hands of the DPS, you may be able to get them a little bit easier. So see if you can help us out. Be
Yes, Your Honor.
specific in your email, Mr. Castañon. I'm going to set this up in about 3 weeks to 4 weeks to see if you can do it or not, Mr. Martinez. Okay.
And Judge,
Your
I
Honor.
think the State Board of Pharmacy might also have control
Yeah.
of those.
Right, they probably do, but the problem is then of course that's not an agency of the state, and Mr. Martinez really has nothing to do with that. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. I agree. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna set this up in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Mr. Wyatt, thank you so much for your
Thank you,
participation.
Derek.
Mr. Castañon, anything else? Did you have any more?
Yes, Your Honor. I have Shedrick Coleman, which I think the court had let him in.
Yes, I think he's in. At this time, court calls number 2019-3816, Shedrick Coleman. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Felix Castañon for Mr. Coleman, and I see my client, Mr. Coleman, is present.
And he is the defendant in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Coleman, do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Castañon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Okay. What is the offer in this case, Mr. Martinez?
The rec had been 5 years straight, Your Honor, but I guess for the next month we can offer 5 years deferred.
Wow, Mr. Castañon, that's pretty good. What do you think?
And Your Honor, I can discuss it with my client. I know Mr. Coleman was in the military, and as a result of this case, he had to get out of the military. And so he's had some issues with that, but I don't know if he seeks to go back into the military, because certainly a conviction on this kind of case would keep him out. I don't know what effect deferred would have, but that's something I can research and then I can discuss with my client. I know the complainant in this case had initially said she didn't want to prosecute, and then we weren't able to get a hold of her. So he's not in contact with her, so I don't know where she's at.
Do we have a cooperative complaining witness, Mr. Martinez? Do you know?
I think she may have expressed some hesitance to prosecute, Your Honor, but she is around. I have no reason to believe that she would not testify truthfully in this case.
Okay, and are there pictures? Do we have anything independent other than, could you proceed without her, Mr. Martinez? Need be?
I haven't conducted that analysis, Your Honor, because like I said, I do believe that she would testify truthfully.
Okay, very well.
Um,
Okay.
And yes, there are photos depicting visible injuries. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, there it is. Okay, Mr. Castañon, you want to do your independent investigation regarding the impact of this 5 years deferred. Let's set this up for another 3 weeks, 4 week settlement conference. If by then we can't settle it, then we'll just put it on the trial track. Okay, Mr. Castañon, is that okay?
That's okay, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very well. Settlement conference in 30 days. Did you have another one, Mr. Castañon? You all may be excused. Mr. Coleman, thank you, sir, for participating. You may be excused, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Did you have another one?
Yes, Your Honor, I have one last one. Annette Alvarez, and I don't know if Miss Alvarez is.
I don't think she's
I
participating.
believe she is here. Lady with short black hair and a pink blouse on the iPhone.
Okay. Let me ask her to unmute. I think it's not pink, Rick. That is not.
Oh, I see her, Your Honor. I see her,
That
Your
is
Honor.
not a pink. Miss, let me call the case. At this time, court calls cause number 2019-4567, the state of Texas versus Annette Alvarez. Announcement of counsel.
Evan Martinez for the state.
Felix Castañon for Miss Alvarez, and Miss Alvarez, the defendant in this case, and my client is present, Your Honor.
Thank you. And she's the defendant in this case. And Miss Alvarez, what's the color of your blouse?
Fuchsia.
I was going to say it's fuchsia.
See, Rick, you were close to pink. It looks red or rusty to me. It looks red or rusty, but I'm a bit colorblind. Miss Alvarez, do you see and recognize Mr. Castañon, your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Very well. Oh, yes, it is a fuchsia t-shirt. Yes, ma'am. Now I see it closer. Very well. Thank you for participating today, ma'am. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, let the record reflect both that recognize each other. What is your offer to settle in this case, Mr. Martinez?
Your Honor, the rec is 5 years deferred probation to run concurrently with 1 year deferred probation on the criminal mischief case pending in CCR1.
Very well. Mr. Castañon, that sounds like a good starting point.
It is, Your Honor. I think this is a case where the last time we were at a settlement conference, I did mention to Mr. Nunez that my client had further interaction with the complainant, and in this case, my client at the time was going through cancer treatment, and so the allegation is that she hit the complainant who's a male and taller than her, younger than her, with a cane. And there's a video and it shows the struggle, but it never shows the cane. So even if convicted, I think a jury could not convict her of the aggravated assault. But since then, my client has provided 3 witnesses, which in discussing the case with her yesterday, she stated that she would prefer to go to trial than to take an actual plea offer on this, Your Honor.
So she's not willing to accept the 5 years deferred. She wants a trial.
Correct, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, is it true that you don't see the cane? I think I remember discussing this.
Well, the thing is, Your Honor, is that
In the video?
this allegation is alleged to have occurred last year. Earlier this year, she's alleged to have cut somebody off in traffic and hit their car with an object very similar to the allegation in this aggravated assault case. Giving it credence, that's exactly what she did in the ag assault case, because it's almost the same thing she did in the criminal mischief case.
So that's the
So
basis.
yes, I mean, I'm sorry.
That's the basis of the criminal mischief, is a road rage.
Exactly, and her breaking the windshield of the people she felt as though had wronged her in traffic.
That never happened. I'm sorry to misinform you.
Yes, Ms. Alvarez, the facts are very, very different, Your Honor, on the instant case and whatever case Mr. Martinez is mentioning.
I'm not even aware of such case, and I'm not aware of breaking anybody's windshield.
Okay, ma'am, I thank you. Thank you. It's probably best, Ms. Alvarez, not to say much, because you could say something that these lawyers, these DAs can use against. Okay, Ms. Alvarez?
Your Honor, I just wanted to say I have submitted the paperwork that you had.
Ms. Alvarez,
Yeah.
it's best not to say anything on the record. We can discuss it later.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Talk to your attorney. You have a very good attorney, Ms. Alvarez, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you, but these attorneys are afraid you may say something that could be held against you or could put you in a bad light or something. And then, okay, so it's best. We'll give you your day in court. We'll give you you've got a right to a trial by jury. You have the presumption of innocence, ma'am. I understand that. So let's
No,
just,
I would proceed. I won't take a plea.
okay, ma'am. Your attorney has made that very clear, and now you're making that clear. Mr. Castañon, I guess it's not going to be fruitful if we set this up for any more hearings. I think your client is adamant that she wants her day in court. With a jury trial, would everybody, before last resort, what about a bench trial in this case?
I would agree to a bench trial, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Castañon, would you agree to a bench trial in this case?
I'll discuss it with her, Your Honor. I think given the fact that it's a 3G offense, if the court were to find her guilty, I don't know if the court could give her probation in the event of a conviction. So there's that. So.
Okay, discuss it with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Discuss it all with her. She's a woman with her own mind, and so discuss it with her. And Miss Becky, in about a week, call up Mr. Castañon and see if he's willing to waive his right to a jury, proceed to a bench. If not, Castañon, I think we're just going to put this on the trial track. And we'll try
Yes,
it
Your Honor.
for 2 years.
If it would expedite things, Your Honor, we'd be willing to waive or acknowledge or concede that we would not seek a deadly weapon finding, Your Honor. If she were to be found guilty, we would not request the court to make a finding of a deadly weapon.
So if I don't make a finding of a deadly weapon, I can give probation.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Castañon, that's good.
Mm-hmm. I'll discuss it with her, Your Honor.
That's good. Okay. She'll get her day in court, of course, before a judge and not 12 people, but okay. Discuss it with her. Then I think what we're going to do, I think you made an effort to try to settle this case expeditiously, Mr. Martinez. Can we set this up for a settlement conference in 2 weeks? And that way you can tell me, Mr. Castañon, yes, she's going to take.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay. Very well. Settlement conference. Ma'am, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. In 2 weeks regarding a bench trial. Okay. Mr. Castañon, anything else in this case?
That's it, Your Honor.
Martinez?
Nothing more, Your Honor.
Very well. Ms. Alvarez, thank you very much for participating. You may be excused. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Tony Orozco's the next one with Mr. Wyatt, 2019-3244 and 278. Announcement of council, please.
Evan Martinez for the state.
Derek White, on behalf of Mr. Orozco, respectfully ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Very good. I did not allow Mr. Orozco in, I don't think. Do you waive his appearance, Mr. Wyatt?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Very well. I will allow that. Do we have an offer to settle? A plea
Yes,
offer?
Your Honor.
What is it?
State is offering a recommendation of 2 years deferred probation, 0 fine, 20 hours of community service, $200 restitution for the burglary case, and $330 restitution for the pending criminal mischief case. No contact with either victim, UABA, curfew, and if the defendant pleads guilty to the burglary case and the drug case, then we'll dismiss the misdemeanor criminal mischief case.
But they have to pay 330?
Right, exactly, right. The 330 for the criminal mischief will be taken into account in the felony plea of the burglary. That's correct, Your Honor.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Everything's been deferred probation, Mr. Martinez. It's good. This is good. It's a good afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
Good afternoon. Mr. Wyatt, you can't resist this one, can you?
Well, Judge, on the burglary habitation case, the 2019 burglary habitation, today I did file a motion for appointment of an investigator, mainly for the reason that I've went through this case before, and today my assistant and I went through it this morning again. And it appears that the complaining witness might have charges against somebody else from the same incident. And honestly, I've looked through here and it's really, really confusing to me as to how they're linking my guy to the burglary of a habitation. So I wanted to get an investigator and I did file that. And I asked for a maximum of $500 so I could send my investigator out to kind of find out what's going on here. in the drug case, the 2019 drug case, I do have an alternative hypothesis, and in a drug case, I do have someone else to blame it on. So I think that the rec, from a prosecutor's standpoint, is pretty good at 2 deferred, but I'm trying to stay away from the felonies. And like I said, I'm a little confused as to at least the burglary case, and I might have a decent defense on the drug case. So at this time, I'm not willing to accept the 2 deferred, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, do you have any knowledge about the complaining witness allegedly implicating something else for this burglary?
That
For that?
I'm not seeing like a co-defendant.
Like
here.
somebody named Mario. You know, I'm not sure about any of this myself, but I went through the reports and a lot of things seem kind of confusing to me.
Mario who? Do you have a last name?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay.
That's why I need an investigator to kind of go out and maybe sniff around a little bit.
Okay, you got it.
No, of course, I did take into account the complaining witness in this case has had some brushes with the law himself, thus the 2 deferred. He's been arrested for at least assault, felony violence, theft by check. But anyway, that's what I've taken into account, Your Honor. Like I said, so the allegation is he went in, like the complaining witness sort of knows the defendant. The defendant somehow got the keys to the residence. He went in, he stole some money, he damaged some property. That's, pretty simple case.
Yeah, but
That's
there's
the allegation.
there's some text messages that kind of don't make sense. And, he was given the keys at one point. A lot of confusing stuff here. So I don't know if they can really make the felony. However, if I was to get 2 deferred on some misdemeanors, I probably would really like that.
Well, let me see. Let me see what the criminal history is of Mr. Orozco here real fast. Yeah. Well, I'll look at it, Your Honor. I'll look at it.
I think the fact that the complaining witness has a couple of thefts by check doesn't make him very honest guy, but.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're convictions. I'm just,
Okay. I thought they were convictions.
Right. No, I'm just arrests.
I think it's something that you guys can work out.
Right. I'm not stipulating this would be admissible in trial or anything. I'm just,
Okay. Mr. Wyatt, Mr. Martinez, I'm going to set this up for a settlement conference in 30 days. It sounds like it's something that we might be able to work through. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
30 days, Mr. Wyatt. Thank you very much. You may be excused in this one. Did you have another one, Mr. Wyatt?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Eric Ortiz, I think Denise Butterworth is handling this one.
Hey, Miss Butterworth is on. I've not seen Miss Butterworth in forever.
No, ma'am.
Hi, Judge. How are you?
I am good. I am good, Miss Butterworth. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you. You're looking very well. Good to see you. We've
Thanks.
not seen you. I've not seen you on Zoom.
I have not done Zoom in the 171st since this started.
Well, it's about time. Welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
And I tried to send you some chat, but I don't think you picked up on it. Just kind of some background about how Amanda and I were talking about this case last night. I was just trying to fill you in, but I kind of looked at it and I don't think you saw anything.
I haven't, but give me 2 seconds and I'll look at it. But that is what I was prepared to tell the judge, is that you and Amanda are talking.
Good. Let me call the case, you guys. Let me call the case. Court calls number 2019-6892, Eric Ortiz. Announcement of counsel, please.
Denise Butterworth on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Derek Wyatt on behalf of Mr. Eric Ortiz, and respectfully ready to proceed this afternoon, Your Honor.
And Mr. Wyatt, do you see Mr. Ortiz as your client and the defendant in this case on the screen?
I don't see him on the screen, but he was present earlier, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Eric Ortiz, talk to me and say good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Good, thank you, sir. Now, do you see and recognize him as the defendant in this case, Mr. Wyatt?
I still don't have him on the screen, Judge. I'm limited to 9 people, but I do recognize his voice, and I did see him previously.
Very good. Do you see your attorney on the screen, Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other, one by voice, the other one by sight. Okay, Ms. Butterworth, talk to me about this case.
So I just finished reviewing my chat from Mr. Wyatt. I am covering for Miss Enriquez today, but she let me know that she has been in discussions with Mr. Wyatt regarding a plea. I think we're prepared to put it on the record. I know that it was relayed to Mr. Wyatt. It's 8 years TDC. And from looking at my chat, it looks like Mr. Wyatt is going to request some additional time to look at some more of the discovery. I think one of the discs that we have provided to him, he is saying is broken. So we don't obviously object to that, to make sure that he knows the case so that he can review the rec and the case with his client.
Got it. Okay. Mr. Wyatt, how much time do you need to try to see if we could settle it? You want 30 days, 45 days? You tell me.
I ultimately, I think it might take longer than that, Judge. I've been trying to look at the litigation packet that was on a DVD, and for some reason, I just thought it was my incompetence with technology, which a lot of it probably was. I looked at it a few times, and finally, I took it to my assistant, and she starts messing around with it. And she brings this back to me, and she says, "Derek, notice this crack along the back? It won't read. That's why you can't get it to work." So, but anyway, I was thinking we've got a great rec. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised by the rec. However, since I think we're going to be stalled a little bit, I was going to ask for some time to look at that litigation packet, and I would like an expert. I believe Amanda Culbertson. She's the forensic toxicologist who caught a lot of, and she's an ex-DPS lab worker who caught a lot of, she caught a lady here that works for DPS hot labbing some of the results. So she's at the top around. I understand she's got COVID right now, but my assistant has been emailing her. So we're trying to see how long that she would take. Honestly, even without a blood sample, I do think it's a pretty strong case for the state. I'm going to have to talk to my client. Like I said, I know my client, he's a great guy, and I know he's hoping for probation. But in all due candidness to the court as well as my client, and I think Denise knows, unless there's something really wrong with this case that I'm not seeing, 8 is a pretty good offer.
I'll give you, it sounds like, Mr. Wyatt, you want 60 days to review what you need to review? And
yes, ma'am, if I can, please. And I did file the motion and order for an expert as well as notice an expert to the state.
Got it.
And I started today to try to get a hold of her.
Got it. Thank you. Ms. Butterworth, are we okay? You and Ms. Enriquez are okay with about a 60-day?
We are, Judge, and we'll be in touch with Mr. Wyatt to work on, I guess, replacing his broken disc.
That's important. In these technological times, that's very important, Ms. Butterworth. Thank you so much for accommodating him there. Anything else?
Of course. Nothing from the state today, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Wyatt?
Nothing from this. Mr. Ortiz, I will be contacting you as soon as I get off the screen here.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. You may be excused as well. Thank you all for participating. Mr. Wyatt, Ms. Butterworth, be safe out there. Thank you. You all may be
Thank you, Judge. Nice to see you both.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Take care.
Thank you, Judge.
Iris Padilla, Mr. Richard Huffman. I don't think Mr. Huffman is on.
Your Honor, I'm here for him.
Okay, very good. At this time, court calls number 2019-6023, Priscilla Padilla. Announcement of council, please.
Evan Martinez for the state.
William Navadomskis for Ms. Padilla, Your Honor. Your Honor, we're asking the
Ms. Padilla is not present, is she?
No, Your Honor, she's in Houston undergoing chemotherapy for some cancers that she's gotten, and so that's where she is. We spoke with her yesterday. The complaining witness.
Are you asking for her appearance to be waived?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
We've spoken. The complaining witness and the child's father came in the other day, and we had a long conversation. He made a non-prosecution affidavit. The child alleges that his mother, the original allegation, I guess, is that she punched him and scratched him on the shoulder. If we look at the photographs, I don't think that the photographs are consistent with that. They look like it's an abrasion caused by the ground. But in speaking with them, I don't think that they, want to go forward with the case, but I also think that the child was sort of under some influence regarding the breakup of his parents. And I think the mother was kind of going under some, she was doing probably some, kind of going out more than she was than the child liked. I mean, she wasn't as present as she might like to be. And I don't think she handled the breakup, particularly well. And I think the child was sort of kind of siding with his father at that time. But I don't think, one, that they're going to want to go forward. But secondly, I don't know that the events occurred as the child originally alleged.
How old?
There's no.
How old?
8 years old, Your Honor.
8? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, what do you have to say to what Mr. Navadomskis is saying?
That's correct. I spoke with the father of the victim, of the alleged victim yesterday. He states that the victim has recanted to him and said that this did not take place, that the child made it up because he was mad at the mother. It's unclear why. Needless to say, I would like to talk with the boy at some point. In addition, there's like over 100 pages of CPS records that need to be reviewed. We've created an order for the state to disclose the CPS records. I believe, I'm not sure if we've emailed those to you or not, but we are in possession of them. And once the court signs off on that order, we'll provide those CPS records to the defense counsel. But
Thank
yes,
you.
everything that he said is correct. I just need to look into it further, Your Honor.
Those 100 pages of CPS records are applicable to this case or previous reports with other allegations?
I need to review them, Your Honor.
You don't know. Okay. Well, I think this case still needs to be a little bit reviewed a little bit more. Yeah, maybe the child recanted because Mr. Navadomskis is right, Mr. Martinez. He got angry at his mother because she became a party girl all of a sudden. Maybe.
Of course, Your Honor. Oftentimes you just take things at face value. They are what they appear to be, but then sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper too.
Exactly. And I think you do need to contact that child so you can make your own observations. His demeanor. Why don't we set this up, Mr. Navadomskis, Mr. Martinez? Can we set this up in another 45 days? I think it's going to.
Yes, that should be perfect, Your Honor.
Right? Mr. Navadomskis, are you okay with a settlement conference in 45 days?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very good. We'll do a settlement conference in 45 days and hopefully things will be a little bit more clear after some independent investigation. Thank
Yes,
you,
Your Honor.
Did you have another one, sir?
Your Honor, I have two more. I've got Victor Calderon and Brandon Ortiz.
Okay, so we're finished with that one. Brandon Ortiz is the next one. Court calls cause number 2019-6669. Brandon Ortiz, announcement of counsel, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
William Navadomskis for Mr. Ortiz, Your Honor. We're ready.
On this Zoom hearing,
I think so.
Mr. Brandon Ortiz, are you there, sir? Mr. Rick?
I see an Ivan Ortiz and he's on mute.
Is Ivan Brandon Ortiz?
It is Brandon Ivan Ortiz or Ivan Brandon Ortiz.
Okay.
But he's on mute.
Can you unmute Mr. Brandon Ivan Ortiz? There you go.
No video.
I know. Mr. Ortiz? Mr. Ivan Brandon Ortiz or Brandon Ivan? Can you hear me? Okay. He's not participating. He's not able to participate. He can't hear me.
I spoke with him during this hearing. Actually, I called to make sure that he was logged in and he knows, and I think that that's him. So I've spoken with him recently about that.
Right. Can you waive his appearance because he really is not participating?
Yes, Your Honor. That's not the problem.
Okay. So talk to me about this one.
What it's sort of it seems as though it's kind of straightforward from the state's perspective when you read the reports. However, in discussing the case with my client, he indicates that they asked him if he had any weapons in the house and that he actually produced them because they asked for them. And the other thing is the manner in which the person was quote unquote threatened with the weapon is sort of in question because it doesn't make it sound as though he's intentionally pointing the weapon at him or threatening him with shooting.
Hang on 1 second. He just is here. Mr. Brandon Ivan Ortiz, is that you, sir? Mr. You're not part. We can't hear you, sir. Something's happening.
He may not know that
He's not on mute.
he's not on mute.
No,
not on
no, he's not on mute.
He's having technological issues. Yeah, he's not on. Okay, sir. Maybe you can hear us, maybe you can't, sir, but we're going to proceed because we can't hear you. Go ahead, Mr. Navadomkis. I'm sorry.
Just the manner in which the alleged threat with the weapon was made is in question, because it's not clear from reading the report, you know, how if he pointed a gun at him with the intent of menacing him. But what he did say is that whenever he was on the floor, he'd injured his back. His wife had called 911, and so they come to the apartment up on the 3rd floor, and he's hurt and he's kind of up against the wall, and they're saying that he doesn't want to have you know, that he doesn't want to be treated, and he's actually squaring off in the fighting. I don't know exactly how far that went, but what he indicates is that they asked him if he had any weapons in the house, and he actually brought them the gun because they asked him about it. The gun was not loaded, and the police confiscated the gun, and then he had some ammunition, but it was not in the weapon. It was separate and apart from the gun, and they took all that in. So there are some questions about this. There's no recommendation at this point. So we're, you know,
waiting to see.
Right.
Mr. Martinez, do we have a recommendation?
Well, I agree with Mr. Navadomkis. That's a very good review of the report. But I think the part that I think I think this is like EMS gets kind of concerned about is the part where he puts the rifle in the case down on the ground, but then they say he proceeds to reach down and it looks like he's trying to remove the rifle from the case. And at that point, they all run out of the house in terror because, you know, that's the thing. It's like, I think he's right. I think, you know, he went in there with the rifle, it's in the case, he puts it down, but then they say he reaches down and tries to get it out again. And then, that's, you know, that's what I think that's the gravamen, if you will, of this case.
Right.
But anyway, the recommendation is.
You pronounce it gravamen?
Isn't that weird? Yes, it's gravamen. That's exactly right. Not gravamen.
Gravamen.
Not gravamen. Gravamen.
Where did you get that from?
No, you can Google it. It's a thing. Just enter in, hey, how do I pronounce gravamen? And it'll say gravamen.
Mr. Navadomkis, do you agree it's gravamen or gravamen?
Your Honor, I've always heard gravamen, but you know, I learn things every day, so I don't pretend to know.
I thought so too.
Okay.
Google doesn't lie, though, Judge.
It doesn't. Okay, gravamen.
It's 3 years deferred probation, $100 fine, 50 hours of community service, UABA, curfew, forfeit rifle.
That's not a bad deal, Mr. Navadomkis. What are you thinking about that?
Well, I'll have to discuss it with my client to find out what he wants to do, and I have to explain him what deferred means and all that.
Do that, and then maybe you can make a counter. They may get a little bit better, and then you'll take it. Maybe.
Possibly.
Okay.
I'll talk to my client.
You want to set this up in 30 days? Settlement conference, another one, 30 days?
I think that'll be fine, Judge.
Very good. 30-day settlement conference, discuss it with your client, and I think life is good. We'll see you in 30 days. Mr. Ortiz, can you talk to me now or not? No. Okay, sir. You may be excused. Call your attorney, sir. Keep in close contact with your attorney. Thank you for trying to participate. Mr. Navadomkis, I think you have one more, right?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. I have Victor Calderon. I believe he's in the meeting.
In the Zoom meeting. Victor,
2019.
Court calls cause number 2019-6820. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
William Navadomkis for Mr. Calderon, Your Honor. We are ready.
Where is Mr. Calderon?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Calderon. I can barely see your face. You need more light. How are you?
I know. I was trying to get some more light on me. How's that?
That's better.
A little bit better.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Sir, do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Navadomkis, on the screen?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And Mr. Navadomskis, do you see and recognize Mr. Calderon as your client and the defendant in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let the record reflect that both have identified each other. Do we have an offer of settlement in this case, Mr.
Your Honor, not, at this time, no.
Your Honor, what they had, it's the law enforcement report was not in there. It's in there now. It's just in there now.
Okay.
So that's good. But no, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to review it. So no, there is no recommendation at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, you want to set it up in 2 weeks, 3 weeks for you guys to review it, or what?
2 weeks should suffice for me. It shouldn't take long for me to read it. So.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Navadomskis? Settlement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Settlement conference in 2 weeks for you to review finally that report that we got. Thank you very much. You may be excused.
Thank you,
Mr.
Judge.
Navadomskis, stay safe out there. It's nice to see you.
You too, Judge. Good to see you.
I'll be thinking about you, Mr. Navadomskis, at 7:05 with all the election results.
Yes.
Voting. Thank you, sir.
Take care, Judge. Be excused. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. Thank you. Ms. Alexandra Serra, 2019-6679, Adrian Garcia. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Alexandria Sarah for Mr. Garcia. Good afternoon, Judge. Good. How are you, Judge?
Good, I'm good. Thank you for asking. Mr. Garcia, do you see and recognize your attorney on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Sarah, do you see and recognize your client as the attorney, your client and the defendant in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Very well. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Did you get an offer to settle? Yes.
I did, Judge. Mr. Nunez just put in portal today after some negotiation to deferred on a misdemeanor offense. This is a state jail felony, small bit of coke charge, and my client has relatively little criminal history, a dismissal of an AFB in 2011. I do need to, since that recommendation was given today, I do need to talk to my client. However, I think we have some serious probable cause issues, and I'm inclined to set it for a suppression, Your Honor.
Okay.
They claim that he was arrested on public intox. This is a search incident to arrest, yet he was never arrested on public intox. And there's no videos. There's no surveillance video from Walgreens. There's no videos from either police car that showed up at the scene. So I think we may have some issues, Your Honor.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you, Mr. Martinez. What do you have to say about that?
I've discussed this case with Ms. Sarah, and I think there's reasonable suspicion to believe that he was engaged in criminal activity. I think there's no viable suppression issue there.
He's public and talk.
I mean, yeah, that's what they say, that the defendant tried to go into the store and it was closed, and he smelled of alcohol, and
okay.
I mean, it's just, I guess, just a factual dispute. I mean, I don't, it seems reasonable, from reading it. I don't know, but that's what I'm saying is that I think the rec is reasonable either way, but the bottom line is I don't think there's a viable suppression issue here. I disagree.
You disagree. Okay. Okay, Ms. Sarah, have you filed your motion to suppress?
I have, Your Honor.
Okay. So do you want us to set it?
Yes, Your Honor. Let's go ahead and set it. Are you doing suppression motions via Zoom?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Let's get it done.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it. Ms. Becky, let's set up for suppression in about 4 weeks. Probably it'll be
So
about.
I take it that the defense is rejecting our recs.
I'm still going to discuss it with Mr. Garcia, but I just don't want to string this out any longer than it has to, Your Honor. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Mr. Martinez, can you keep it open? And then if we have a suppression, then I think everybody knows it's off the table.
Well, yeah, I guess that's fine. I mean, I mean, if she could just let us know, hey, you know what? We're taking it. We're not taking it. We're going forward on the motion to suppress.
Sure.
That's fine. Right.
But we'll set it, Ms. Sarah. If your client is inclined to take the deal, then just tell Becky we'll cancel it, postpone it. Then we'll set it up for a non-custodial plea. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. Anything else, Ms. Sarah?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Adrian Garcia, thank you so much for participating. You may be excused. You may be excused, Ms. Sarah. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a-
Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, did somebody call my name? No? Okay. Next one is David Stickler. Does he have an attorney, Miss Becky? David Stickler? I don't have an attorney here.
Judge,
Yes.
I just filed the PR KPS today on that
Okay.
individual.
Okay. So he's not here. Thank
He
you.
was supposed to have been revoked on the first setting, Judge, and then they didn't do it. So I left him on the docket, but I emailed Rita and asked her. So she ended up doing the order revoking.
Mr. Rick, I'm allowing iPhone in. Can you follow that?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, the next one is Areli Hernandez. Court cause number 2019-6695, announcement of council.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Enrique Holguin from Ms. Areli Hernandez, ready as well.
Okay, well, do we have an offer to settle in this case, you guys?
The state is recommending time served on a 1244B or 1 year deferred on the 1244A, 0 fine, 0 commuter service hours, UABA, curfew, drug counseling.
Those are great deals, Mr. Holguin. What are you thinking?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I wanted to excuse, if I can excuse my client's presence. She's at work, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you so much. I forgot to ask.
No worries.
Thank you.
And I have been in contact with Ms. Hernandez. We have gone over the portal information. She's inclined to do the 1244B credit for time service.
Great. Can we set it up for a non-custodial plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Whenever, Ms. Becky, you can do it, non-custodial plea it is. Get the paperwork. Mr. Martinez,
Yes, Your Honor.
get the paperwork started now. Remember, you're going to do the 1244B, right, Mr. Holguin?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you initiate the paperwork, Mr. Martinez, remember to put the deal in your little summary on the email so I can check it out and follow it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Anything else, Mr. Holguin?
Nothing further, Your Honor. May I be excused.
Absolutely. You're my first plea of the day. I'm happy.
All right, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You may be excused. Be safe. Next one is Gilbert Lejia. That's the Mayor Elia Garcia. I think you're there. Yes, ma'am. I see you. Court cause number 2019-6718. The state of Texas versus Gilbert Lejia. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Elia Garcia on behalf of Mr. Lejia, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lejia is not participating, right, Miss?
Your Honor, last time I checked, he was in jail for new offenses, but those do not appear on the county website yet.
Let's see. Mr. Castañeda, is he in jail?
Let me check, Judge.
Let's clear that up. Meanwhile, he's checking. Well, we better make sure because we have to either waive his appearance or not. Well, do you waive his appearance because he's not here nevertheless?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So what are we looking at here, Mr. Martinez?
State is recommending 3 years TDC, Your Honor.
3 years TDC. Okay. Ms. Garcia.
Your Honor, on this particular case, I am pending to speak to the complaining witness. I have been in contact with her, so I need to see if she's gonna cooperate and be able to issue a non-prosecution affidavit.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of time, Ms. Garcia, okay? How much time? You want 30 days for another settlement conference to try to get her to do a non-pros?
Yes, Your Honor, and then I also need to look at the new cases.
Oh, Mr. Castañeda, does he have new cases?
Judge, I don't see anything. Let me go into the jailing side because sometimes that doesn't carry over. And I'll let you know. And he's not in jail.
Not in jail? Okay. So we know that he's not in jail, Ms. Garcia, okay?
I'll reach out to him again, Your Honor. At the end of last week, he was in jail.
Okay, hopefully he got out. Mr. Martinez?
Oh, I see what she's talking about, Your Honor. Yes, he's alleged to have picked up a new drug case.
Another new drug one? Misdemeanor or felony?
It's a felony. Penalty group 1, but I'm not sure the amount.
Now, I guess the 3 TDC is out the window with his new rearrest, right?
No, Your Honor, that's same record.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Garcia, so that way you'll know the full plea. So that'll include the new offense, 3 TDC. You can talk to your client. We'll have a settlement conference in 30 days. Ms. Garcia, anything else in this case?
That's all, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez.
Actually, Your Honor,
Tell me.
if they're inclined to take the rec of the 3, I could just have that new drug case declined.
Oh my God, Ms. Garcia, it's getting better and better every minute.
I need to stay here longer, Your Honor.
Exactly. I think you need to knock it off. Maybe it'll be a dismissal in 5 more minutes.
Right?
Like I said, that particular thing, that'll only be good until August 1st.
August 1st.
August 1st.
I will talk to him, Your Honor.
Oh, do I set this up for a settlement conference before August 1st to let you know, or you wanna, what do you wanna do?
No, I trust Ms. Garcia to let me know one way or another by
Very
that
good.
time.
Okay, so you have a pretty good offer, I think, for until August 1st. We're gonna set this up for a settlement conference August 1st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be excused. Have a great day in a couple of weeks. Thank you. You may be excused. The next one is Abril Llamas. That's Mr. Gutierrez.
Hello,
Mr.
Judge.
Gutierrez, how are you,
How
sir?
are you?
I'm not seeing you on Zoom. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Judge. I'm really good.
You look great. You look good, sir.
Thanks. You know, Judge, on this case.
Let me call the case. Let me
go
call first. Let me call so we can get everything on the record. 2019 6735, Abril Llamas. On the council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Your Honor, Louis Gutierrez on behalf of Ms. Llamas, and may we waive her presence, please?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Talk to me, Mr. Gutierrez.
We've actually emailed Mr. Nunez today, the non-pros and the restitution that covers this case. Prior to this case getting indicted, been in, I guess, conference with Jennifer Vanden Bosch. We actually didn't think it'd get indicted, but because the complaining witness had reached out, he wanted just to get paid back and move on. And I'm not sure if you checked that out, Ivan, or been able to contact.
Well, no. You know, Mr. Gutierrez is absolutely right.
Okay.
One of these did occur before she was on probation, and one of them occurred after she was on probation. But that's fine. I mean, if yes, yes. But I mean, that's
What do you mean probation?
Are we talking? Okay, we're talking about April Llamas, right? Am I maybe talking about the wrong case?
We're talking about Llamas. I don't have her on probation, Mr. Martinez.
She's on probation, Judge.
What case? What's the case number? Out of my court?
Yes, Judge. 2018 0D0 5824, and it is showing that she pled June 6th of 2019.
Ms. Becky, can you put that on the docket when you put Ms. Llamas? Put both cases? Okay, I didn't know that, Mr. Martinez, either.
Okay, so,
right, but he's right in the sense that it's two separate forgery check things. Okay, one occurred before she was on probation, and
right.
one occurred after she was on probation.
Okay.
I mean, but that's fine. You know, if he says you've got a non-process, the complaining witness is a man named Isaac Belbill.
right, and I got it. I sent it to David today. I don't think you got it, but David has it.
Okay. I mean, that's fine by me. I mean, just, you know, as far as the new case, how you want to handle that as far as probation, you know.
Okay. So what are you offering? Probation and not
Well, no, that's what he's saying. Is God, the probation officer's not even here, right? I mean,
we didn't even have it on the docket.
okay. Okay.
We didn't know it was probation. Mr. Artemi,
Well, I imagine what my feelings are, if she's doing well, I mean, if she's doing reporting,
right,
not testing positive for drugs, then, you know, nothing, you know, I just, you know, we can just dismiss the new case that she's picked up. But I think it all just depends on how she's doing on probation. You know, I mean, maybe, you know, because
then let's pick this up for another settlement conference in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
A week, 2 weeks, and let's see what the probation department has to say. That'll help us out in settling the case, I hope, right?
yes, I think we're close, Your Honor. It's just, I just want to check that out first.
Okay.
Settlement conference in
Fair
2
enough.
weeks, guys. Well, Mr. Artemio will let the probation officer know, and they'll share with us the information we need.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you,
Would
Judge.
tell us anything else, sir?
No, that's it, Judge. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay safe.
All right. Ivan, you look good, Ivan.
Same to you, sir. I love an honest man.
Oh, Mr. Martinez, get over yourself. I like that green cobija better, much better. Your hair is tingling on the neck, so that's why I'm saying, Mr. Martinez, you need that green
Yes.
cobija.
I'm getting too close. I'm getting too close to the camera, Your Honor. I'll back off.
Okay, the next one is Joseph Villers. That's you, Mr. Mesa, I think. Court cause number 2019-6793, 2020-1791. Announcement of council, please.
Your Honor, sorry, it's Aaron Selif. I'm on one of them only, and I was trying to make sure I told you the right one. I'm on 2019-0D06793, Judge.
And Ivan Martinez for 1791, Your Honor.
And Eric Meza for the defense, Your Honor. We're ready.
Okay, very good. Do we have a settlement to Mr. Mesa?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I'm asking the DAs, ADAs if there's offers of settlement to you.
That's correct, Your Honor. We have tentative, I believe we've worked out an agreement with both Mr. Setliff and with Mr. Martinez and Nunez.
What is it?
It's going to be 3 TDC with everything except the state jails, in which he will serve 12 months on the state jails. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas.
Is that it, Mr. Setliff?
Mr.
Yes,
Setliff
Judge, I'm
is nodding knowingly, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Martinez, that's the settlement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I didn't ask you, Mr. Mesa, I forgot. Are you waiving your
He's
client's?
in custody, and yes, we're waiving, Your Honor.
I forgot. Okay.
That's okay.
So then can we set this up? Oh, he's in jail.
Correct.
We set this up for a plea?
Yes, Your
Okay, Ms. Becky, to plea on the next Friday that we can fit it in. When I have access to the jail, Mr. Martinez, do the paperwork, start with the paperwork and give me a summary of what he's agreed to. Summary of the
Yes,
plea.
Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Mesa?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You all may be excused. Have a great day. Be
Thank
safe.
you. Thank you, and thank you, guys.
Thank you. The next was my second plea today. I'm happy. Jaime Cordero, that's Mr. Luis Islas, 2019-5806. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Luis Islas for Jaime Cordero, and Mr. Cordero is seated right behind me if you want to move up.
Good, very good. Hi, Mr. Cordero. How are you, sir?
Good, Your Honor.
Good, sir. Nice to see you.
Same.
Do you have an offer of settlement in this case, Mr. Luis Islas?
I do not, Your Honor, and I want to apologize for not having a tie and coat on, but it's awfully hot, and I hope the court understands.
I do, sir. I do, sir. You always, so long as you have a nice button-down shirt, something, we're good. I'm good, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, sir. Absolutely. It hit 110 yesterday. I think they said it's going to hit another 110 today. So I don't blame you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, what are we talking about, sir? What?
Well, just to be clear, Your Honor, in the indictment in this case, like the title of it is possession over 1 under 4, but it's really under 1. So just to be clear, it's under 1. So that the rec is 2 years deferred probation, $100 fine, 50 hours community service, UABA, curfew, and drug counseling.
Okay, Mr. Sounds pretty sweet.
It is a reasonable offer. I admit that. This is our first settlement conference, Your Honor. And in the amended order setting Zoom hearings, I have another one set for September 2nd.
Okay.
And I was wondering if I could give you if we could give you an answer at that time.
Are you okay waiting that long, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor, there is no expiration date on this rec.
Okay. Okay, sir, we're gonna have another settlement. Ms. Becky, are we set for September in this case? Becky.
Let me check, Judge, because those are the ones that Diana sets, arraignments and then the 3 settlement conferences.
I know. Let's make sure it's set for the time that Mr. Luis Islas is saying it's set for.
Okay.
It's showing September 2nd at 2 o'clock, Judge.
Settlement
Yes.
For a settlement conference.
Okay, very good. Yes, so you got till September 2nd. We'll handle it then, Mr. Islas. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cordero. Thank you for participating and stay safe, sir. Thank you. Mr. Martinez, thank you. You may be excused. Be safe, Mr. Islas, please.
Thank you. Likewise, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Karina Salinas, is Mr. Ben Ivy? Is Ms. Salinas participating, Mr. Ivy? Can you unmute, sir, so I can hear your beautiful voice? There you go.
She is in jail, Judge.
Okay, very good. At this time, for number 2020-066 and 0287, the state of Texas versus Karina Salinas. Announcement of council, please.
Ivan Martinez for the state.
Ben Ivy for Karina Salinas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now she's in jail. She just got picked up with a new manufactured delivery, right? Is that the one
That's
yeah.
correct, Judge.
What are her bonds set at, Mr. Castañeda?
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Okay, look at that.
I have them.
Mr. Castañeda, what is it?
For the case number ending in 66, it's going to be 100,000 cash surety.
Good.
For the one ending in 287, it's 5,000 cash surety.
And the new one?
And then for the new one, it's just showing $300 cash surety.
For the manufacturer delivery?
No, this one's, it's just off a warrant number. It doesn't really, it doesn't have the actual like full offense, it's just possession, and then it cuts off. So I don't know what that one is, Judge.
Maybe this 2021, the 66 is the new case.
Correct. Or I believe that the 287 would be the new case.
287?
Let me check, Judge.
They told me the new case was a manufacturer delivery here in this summary. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Martinez, talk to me about a settlement.
Well, Judge, you know, one of these cases is a delivery of, gosh, it's a meth. Let me see here. Well, anyway, it's a minimum of 15 TDC, and we had made a recommendation of 5, and that expired on July 1st. But you know, if it's accepted today, we can, you know, re-give that, re-offer that 5 TDC rec.
Well, you're right.
On the
It's a gift. I think you're right. It's a gift. You can re-gift it.
Yeah, so it would be delivery over 1 under 4. So it'd be a reduction from over 400 to over 1 under 4. I believe that'd be a secondary.
Okay, Mr.
Judge, yeah, it is a 15 minimum. So she was just arraigned, I think, in the last week of June. So this is the first time we've had court on it, and I'm not. I saw her a couple of weeks ago, and I did not convey the rec to her, but I believe this is something she will take once she looks at the worst case scenario. So I think if I can just anticipate that she will take the 5, Judge, if we can set it for a plea, and if something happens otherwise, I will let the court know. But just so Mr. Martinez can keep the offer on the table of 5, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, can we do that? Can we get the paperwork started based on this representation? Becky, let's set this up like in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, because Mr. Ivy's being honest. He's going to try and talk his client into taking it, basically. For
a plea?
Set up for a plea in about 3 or 4 weeks. But Mr. Martinez, start the paperwork now, because in case she refuses, I don't want to be at the last minute having to cancel, and then she's missed a spot. You missed a spot on a Friday to do somebody else. Okay? You know what I'm saying, right? I've explained it very poorly, but you know, right, Mr. Martinez? Thank you, sir, for understanding. For reading between the lines. Okay, Mr. Ivy, anything?
So Judge, can I, she was on the list for a bond hearing, so should I cancel that until after she takes the plea, if she does?
Mr. Ivy?
I think so, Judge, yes. With the amount this high, I wouldn't anticipate a bond reduction anyway, so.
I think you're really reading between the lines there too, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ivy. Okay, sir. Anything else? Yes, take her off the list, Becky, please.
Thank
Anything
you,
else?
Judge.
Anything else, sir? We're good? Thank you. Both of you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we have Josiah Lozano. That was Mr. Wyatt's, but is Mr. Avelar taking care of this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. At this time, court calls cause numbers 2017-6552, 2019-3690, 2019-6636, and 24. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Daniel
Your Honor,
Avalar for, sorry.
Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry, Daniel.
Daniel Avalar for Josiah Lozano, Judge.
And Mr. Setliff, you're here.
Yes, Judge, I'm handling one of his many cases is 2019 0D06637, but I'm following Dave's lead on the plea negotiations.
Thank you. Okay, David, what's the lead? You're the lead. You're the leader.
Well, Your Honor, if you recall, this is the case where we are working up the sexual assault of a child case. Just a little update on it. They did finally get the camera, or sorry, the cell phone from Midland. They have done a photo or a data dump of that phone, and that was done on July 9th, where they did find the CW in this case and the defendant having sex. The law enforcement
Hang on a second. Hang on. They have pictures there on the cell phone of them having sex?
The description says that there's video, Judge. The description says that.
Of them having sex?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the date of this video? Do you know?
It's, Judge, from what I see, it just got dumped. I would probably have to get with that.
My reason for the date was because this was a minor, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
He eventually had a baby with and all of that,
Yes,
right?
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. And the phone had been in Midland for, to be honest, I have no idea, but it had been there for a while until Detective Ernesto Silva retrieved it, and then with the assistance of Detective Montelongo here, they did the data dump, and that's where it's at now, Judge. I'm reaching out to Detective Silva to see exactly what's the next step here, but I mean, this is a good step in the right direction that we got it, like the phone, we got the data dump, and it looks like the Judge.
In a right direction for you and not in a very good direction for you, Mr. Avelar. What are you thinking, sir?
Well, Judge, that's what we were anticipating. That was the issue today, was whether or not they are going to proceed on this sex case, Judge. And this was sort of a two-way road. This was, what kind of a wreck are we looking at if there was no sexual assault case coming down? And if it is coming down, there will be a different wreck, Your Honor. This is a time case, Judge. We're just trying to figure out what's coming down, when it's coming down, and what the evidence is, Judge.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a rec now that it looks like it's moving in a positive direction for the state? Do you have any kind of a rec yet or not?
Can I get 2 weeks and I will come up with a rec, Judge? So I can follow up with Detective Silva and also discuss it with Mr. Setliff as well. I'd like to do that, Judge, if I may.
Yes, sir. You got it. We'll give you 2 weeks. I guess I didn't ask you if you're waiving Mr. Lozano's appearance, right? Did I ask you?
I am asking to waive his presence, Judge. He is in custody in the El Paso County Detention Facility.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. It's kind of like moving down in a direction that you wanted it to move at, Mr. Avelar, but
I had hope because there's been some talk about this for quite some time.
I know, but you know what? There was never any doubt in my mind. You know why? Because she gave birth to a baby.
Right.
How can people be questioning sex or no sex? She gave birth. Right. I think the only thing would be, okay, was he the father or not the father? Okay, but didn't they get married?
No, Judge. And the reason I think they were going for the phone was because they were looking into the allegation that Mr. Lozano had posted these videos on a social media platform.
Did he?
They could not find, from what I see here, they could not find any evidence of that, Judge.
Thank you, Jesus.
But I do know that what I read, Judge, is that I believe there was something along the lines of a notification that a video had been taken off of the social media platform because of the contents.
Because of the content.
Correct, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Avelar, you have your work cut out for you. in
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
There we go. Okay, so we'll set this up again. What do you want? Another 30 days so we can kind of, or 2 weeks? I think we said 2 weeks, right? Yes, 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
2 weeks it is. Settlement conference in 2 weeks, please. Anything else, Mr. Avelar?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all be safe.
Good to see you, sir.
Y'all
Anything else?
later.
Yes, we're good.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sedliff, we're good.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sedliff, where were you on a little vacation?
Yes, ma'am. I'll show you pictures when you're off YouTube of my nephew. He's
Oh,
way
my
cuter than.
God. Oh my God, that's adorable. Well, that's a good reason to go off somewhere.
Yeah, Judge, it was nice.
We'll do that. We'll do the share screen again, okay?
Sounds good, Judge.
Thank
Bye.
you. Be excused. Thank you, Mr. Sedliff. Welcome back, and thank God you got home safely.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody's excused. Okay, I think, Mr. Rick, I finished with my docket. I've got Miss
No, we still need Jonathan Lucer, Max Munoz. He's Kios.
Oh, that's the one that there's still a KPS out for his arrest, Mr. Munoz, right?
Yes, he is detained, and I don't know if he's still detained in Doñana County.
As if he's still in custody in New Mexico. He's not reported. There's a KPS out. We have a KPS out. Do we have any indication of where he's located, Mr. Martinez?
No, Your
No?
Honor, I don't think we've sought to bring him back, put a detainer on him or anything like that. I mean, what's he charged with in New Mexico? I mean, I'll let you know.
Do we know
Do we know?
what he's doing in New Mexico, Mr.?
No, Your Honor, I think it's another drug case, but I'm not absolutely sure.
So what do we do? Do we just let this hang until he finishes in New Mexico?
Well, it's a pretty new case, Your Honor. It's a 2019 case. He's in custody there. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to bring him on this. Don't get me wrong, state jail case is important, but
Right.
I
agree. And then we have a KPS out, so when he gets out, he's not going to get out because we've got a KPS.
He got out of pure bond. New Mexico picked him up. He's doing the time over there. I'm not sure when he was supposed to have done by now. And he did sign a waiver to have him extradite back to El Paso. So that's.
Can we set this up for a settlement conference like in 6 months?
For September the 2nd, Your Honor.
There it is. September 2nd is good. Let's see what's happening there. Well, I don't think it was September 2nd. Okay. Yeah, let's do it just to see where he's at. Thank you.
The excuse.
Judge Munoz, anything else, sir?
Well, you said everybody was good looking and I'm not. I'm going last, so I feel left out.
You didn't.
Even said Ivan was good looking.
You didn't even.
Ivan said he was good looking himself.
So you're not good looking. You're extremely good looking.
You see now, like you said, I appreciate an honest man.
Mr. Judge Munoz, you didn't let me finish. I saved the best good looking one for last.
Thank you.
You may be excused. Be safe, sir.
You too.
Thank you. Now, we've got Miss Denise. Can we go off on this one now? Miss Gatto, are we okay going off YouTube? The only one we have to.
I am.
Right? Okay, and Mr. Martinez, we're okay going off and not?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're done. I'm stopped recording everything. Thank you very